Within every cell of your body lies a universe of profound wisdom. This universe is encoded in your DNA. It is a living library of your potential. Think of your DNA not just as a biological blueprint, but as a sacred text. This text is written in a language of light and chemistry. It contains 64 chapters, which we call the gene keys. These keys unlock the doors to your higher purpose. They show you the path from your shadow patterns to your divine gifts. They are a map guiding you home to the person you were always meant to be. This journey inward is the greatest adventure you will ever undertake, a pilgrimage to the core of your own being. These 64 genetic codons group themselves into beautiful patterns. They form 22 sacred groupings known as the Codon Rings. Each ring is connected to a specific chemical family, an amino acid that serves as a building block of life. These are not random assortments. They are families of consciousness. They represent deep, archetypal currents that flow through all of humanity. When you contemplate a codon ring, you are tuning into a specific frequency of life. You are feeling into a collective story that has been unfolding since the dawn of time. These rings are the looms upon which the tapestry of human evolution is woven, connecting us all through a shared chemical and spiritual heritage. The codon rings are more than just biological markers. They are energetic signatures that influence how we connect with each other. They are the invisible threads that draw us into families, communities, and even entire cultures. Have you ever felt an inexplicable pull towards certain people? Or a sense of belonging in a particular place? This is the magic of the codon rings at play. They orchestrate the great dance of human relationship. They are the cosmic choreographers guiding us to the people and experiences we need for our growth. Understanding these rings helps us see the hidden harmony in the seeming chaos of life. This understanding is not just for the mind, it is for the heart. It is a gentle remembrance of our interconnectedness. When we see that our very biology is designed for communion, something inside us softens. Our sense of separation begins to dissolve. We realize that we are all part of a single breathing organism. Each of us is a unique note in a grand symphony. The codon rings are the musical scales that hold this symphony together. They remind us that we are here to harmonize with each other, to create a melody of love and unity that resonates throughout the cosmos and brings us closer together. Among these 22 sacred groupings, one holds a special key to our collective healing. It is called the Ring of Alchemy. This powerful codon ring is linked to the amino acid glycine. Glycine is a fundamental building block, essential for creating proteins and sending nerve signals. In a similar way, the Ring of Alchemy is fundamental to building bridges between human hearts. It is the great dissolver of conflict and the weaver of community. It holds the chemical and spiritual codes for peace. This ring is a crucible, where the lead of our separation can be transformed into the gold of true communion. It is where our deepest wounds find their healing. The Ring of Alchemy is comprised of 4 specific gene keys. These are the 6th, the 40th, the 47th, and the 64th gene keys. Together, they form a powerful quartet of transformation. They are like 4 guardians standing at a sacred crossroads in our DNA. They work in unison to break down old structures both within ourselves and in our societies. They challenge the very notion of us versus them. They invite us to look beyond the surface-level differences that seem to divide us. Their combined energy creates a potent field of change, a vortex that pulls us out of our entrenched patterns and into a new, more integrated way of being. This ring is at the heart of all diplomacy, all conflict resolution, and all true forgiveness. Its primary function is to end conflict. It does this by moving our awareness from the mind to the heart. When we are caught in conflict, we are often trapped in our stories and our positions. The Ring of Alchemy gently bypasses these mental fortifications. It speaks the universal language of feeling. It reminds us of our shared vulnerability and our shared desire for peace. It helps us find the emotional courage to lay down our arms, to listen with empathy, and to seek a resolution that honors everyone involved in the process. Imagine a world where this alchemical process is happening on a global scale. This is the great potential held within this codon ring. It is a biological imperative for peace. As more and more individuals awaken to the frequency of these 4 gene keys, a ripple effect begins. Old tribal boundaries start to dissolve. Ancient enmities lose their power. A new spirit of cooperation emerges, born from a deep cellular recognition of our shared humanity. The Ring of Alchemy is not just a concept, it is a living force within us, waiting to be activated. It is the promise of a world rebuilt on the foundations of compassion and unity. The journey of the Ring of Alchemy unfolds through its 4 pillars, the 4 gene keys that compose it. The first is the 6th gene key, which guides us on a journey from conflict to diplomacy, and ultimately to peace. This is the master key of relationship. It teaches us that true peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to move through it with an open heart. It shows us how to navigate disagreements without creating separation. As we embrace the gift of diplomacy, we become agents of peace in our families, our workplaces, and our communities. We learn that every interaction is an opportunity to build a bridge rather than a wall. The second pillar is the 40th gene key, which travels from exhaustion to resolve and finally to the divine state of repose. This gene key governs our connection to community and the rhythm of work and rest. Its shadow of exhaustion comes from giving without receiving, from a sense of lonely striving. But as we find our resolve, we learn to honor our own energy. We learn to surrender into the support of our tribe. The gift of repose is the deep relaxation that comes from knowing you are held by the whole. It is the foundation of a healthy community, where every member feels supported and nourished. The third pillar is the 47th gene key, which charts the path from oppression to transmutation, and into the miracle of transfiguration. This is the deep alchemical key that allows us to transform our suffering. The shadow of oppression is the feeling of being trapped by our past or our circumstances. It is the heavy weight of our ancestral karma. Through the gift of transmutation, we learn to turn our greatest challenges into our greatest wisdom. We realize that our struggles are the fuel for our awakening. This leads to transfiguration, a quantum leap in consciousness where our old identity dissolves completely, revealing the radiant being of light within. The final pillar of this ring is the 64th gene key, moving from confusion to imagination and into the radiant light of illumination. This is the key of divine creativity and inspiration. Its shadow of confusion arises when we are overwhelmed by a flood of disconnected thoughts and images from the collective unconscious. As we learn to trust our creative imagination, we begin to see the patterns within the chaos. We become visionaries. The gift of illumination is the sudden flash of insight, the aha moment that changes everything. It is the brilliant light of revelation that pours through us, bringing forth new possibilities for the world. These 4 pillars, peace, repose, transfiguration, and illumination, are not separate forces. They work together in a beautiful, synergistic dance. The peace of the 6th gene key allows us to rest deeply in the communal heart of the 40th gene key. This deep sense of belonging and support gives us the courage to face our deepest shadows and transmute them through the 47th gene key. And once we have cleared these old oppressive patterns, our consciousness is free to receive the brilliant illumination of the 64th gene key. This is the alchemical formula for personal and collective rebirth. It is a sacred sequence encoded directly into our biology. When we contemplate how these genetic groupings can bring people together, we are tapping into a profound truth. Changes in our DNA are not just physical, they are changes in consciousness. As we individually move from the shadow frequencies to the gift frequencies, we change the very vibration we emit into the world. This is not a metaphor, it is a tangible energetic shift. A person living in a state of peace, repose, and illumination becomes a beacon. They create a resonant field that helps others to awaken. This is how transformation spreads, not through force, but through gentle, loving resonance from one heart to another. This opens us up to entirely new ways of living. Imagine societies built on the principles of the Ring of Alchemy. Imagine political systems founded on diplomacy instead of conflict. Imagine economies based on community support rather than individual exhaustion. Imagine cultures that see personal transformation as the highest art form and that celebrate creative illumination. This is not a distant utopia. It is the world that is trying to be born through us right now. The Ring of Alchemy provides the blueprint. It shows us that the capacity for this harmonious world is already woven into the fabric of our being, waiting for our attention. So let us be inspired by this vision. Let us embrace the journey inward. Your DNA is not your destiny, it is your potential. It holds the keys to a future of unparalleled peace and unity. By contemplating these sacred codes, by daring to live from your highest self, you participate in the great planetary alchemy. You become a co-creator of a new humanity. A humanity that remembers its interconnectedness. A humanity that lives in harmony with itself and with the earth. The mystery is unlocked not by the mind, but by the courage to live with an open heart. The future is coded within you.